Have you ever tried praying the rosary only to feel your eyes grow heavy, your mind drift away, and before you knew it, you had fallen asleep before finishing? If this has ever happened to you, don't just assume it was mere exhaustion. There's something much deeper at play. Padre Pio himself revealed a surprising meaning behind this phenomenon, something that could completely change the way you see your prayer. And believe me, his answer might deeply move you. But before we continue, I want you to do something for me. If you've ever experienced falling asleep while praying the rosary and want to understand the true meaning behind it, write in the comments, "The rosary is my strength." Amen. This simple gesture will help us bring this message to more people who, like you, seek to understand the mysteries of the spiritual life. Picture this. You're holding your rosary beads, determined to dedicate this moment to Our Lady, when without realizing it, your eyelids start to droop. Before you know it, you wake up minutes later, confused and maybe even a little guilty. But what if I told you that this moment of drowsiness could be much more than simple tiredness? What if it's actually a sign of something happening in the spiritual world? Today, we're going to dive into the teachings of Saint Padre Pio on this fascinating subject. He, who spent hours in deep prayer, faced intense spiritual battles, and received the stigmata of Christ, had a unique understanding of the power of the rosary and the mysteries surrounding it. Get ready to discover surprising truths that can completely transform your view of praying the rosary. You'll learn to identify whether your sleepiness is just physical fatigue, a spiritual attack, or even a form of divine protection. Yes, you heard that right. Sometimes falling asleep during prayer can be a sign of God's grace working in your life. Now, let's embark together on this journey of discovery, guided by the timeless wisdom of Saint Padre Pio. Prepare your heart, open your mind, and allow yourself to be touched by these revelations that can change your life forever. Before we delve into the mystery of falling asleep during prayer, let's take a moment to understand why the rosary holds such a special place in our faith. This simple string of beads carries with it centuries of tradition and an immense spiritual power that has shaped the lives of countless believers. The rosary, as we know it today, has its roots in the early Middle Ages. While the practice of using prayer beads dates back even further, it was Saint Dominic in the 13th century who, according to tradition, received the rosary from the Blessed Virgin Mary herself. She presented it as a powerful weapon against heresy and sin, a tool to bring people closer to her Son, Jesus Christ. But what makes this prayer so powerful? Padre Pio, our guiding light in this journey, often referred to the rosary as the weapon for these times. He saw in it not just a series of repetitive prayers, but a profound meditation on the life of Christ and the mysteries of our faith. Each bead, each prayer is like a step bringing us closer to God's heart. Imagine for a moment the power of this prayer. As you move your fingers from one bead to the next, you're not just reciting words. You're walking alongside Mary as she receives the news that she will bear the Son of God. You're witnessing the birth of Jesus in the humble stable of Bethlehem. You're standing at the foot of the cross, feeling the weight of our salvation. And finally, you're rejoicing in the glory of the resurrection and ascension. It's a journey through the entire gospel, condensed into a form we can carry in our pocket. Padre Pio understood this power intimately. He once said, "The rosary is the weapon for these times." In his view, we are constantly engaged in a spiritual battle, and the rosary is our sword and shield. Each Hail Mary is like a rose offered to Our Lady, but it's also a proclamation of our faith, a declaration of our trust in God's plan. But the power of the rosary isn't just in its words or the mysteries we contemplate. It's in the very act of setting aside time to pray, to step out of our busy lives and enter into a conversation with God and His Mother. Padre Pio knew this well. He would spend hours upon hours praying the rosary, often through the night. For him, it was a source of strength, comfort, and divine insight. The rosary has also played a crucial role in world events. One of the most famous examples is the Battle of Lepanto in 1571. The Christian fleet was vastly outnumbered by the Ottoman forces, and defeat seemed certain. Pope Pius V called on all of Europe to pray the Rosary for victory. Against all odds, the Christian fleet was victorious, a triumph attributed to the powerful intercession of Our Lady through the Rosary. More recently, we have the events of Fatima in 1917. Our Lady appeared to 3 shepherd children, consistently asking them to pray the Rosary for world peace and the conversion of sinners. These apparitions occurred during World War I, highlighting the Rosary's role as a prayer for peace in tumultuous times. Padre Pio himself experienced the protective power of the Rosary. During World War II, when a group of pilots received orders to bomb his friary, they reported seeing a monk in the sky, warning them not to drop their bombs. The pilots, unable to release their payload, returned to base. Later, when shown a picture of Padre Pio, they identified him as the figure they had seen in the sky. Padre Pio, when asked about this incident, simply smiled and said, "The Madonna took care of it." So, as we continue our exploration of what it means to fall asleep while praying the Rosary, remember this: you're engaging with a prayer that has shaped history, turned the tides of battles, and brought countless souls closer to God. It's a prayer that Padre Pio cherished deeply and used as his primary weapon in spiritual warfare. The next time you hold your rosary beads, feel the weight of its history and power in your hands. Each bead is a step on a sacred journey, a journey that has the power to transform not just your life, but the entire world. And if you find yourself drifting off to sleep during this prayer, don't be too quick to judge yourself. As we're about to discover, there might be more happening in that moment than you realize. Now that we understand the profound importance of the Rosary, let's address the elephant in the room: falling asleep while praying. It's a common experience that many of us have faced, often accompanied by feelings of guilt or frustration. But Padre Pio, in his wisdom, offers us a different perspective on this phenomenon. According to Padre Pio, there are 3 main reasons why we might find ourselves drifting off during prayer. Each of these reasons carries its own spiritual significance, and understanding them can transform our prayer life. Let's explore each one in detail. The first and most straightforward reason is simple physical tiredness. We live in a busy world, constantly on the go, juggling work, family, and countless responsibilities. It's no wonder that when we finally sit down to pray, our bodies might take the opportunity to rest. Padre Pio understood this all too well. Despite his reputation for spending long hours in prayer, he was not immune to physical exhaustion. He once said, "Prayer is the best weapon we have. It is the key to God's heart. You must speak to Jesus not only with your lips, but with your heart." If you find yourself dozing off due to natural fatigue, don't be too hard on yourself. God knows our limits and our needs. Sometimes the most honest prayer we can offer is our presence, even if our bodies are crying out for rest. In these moments, our willingness to set aside time for prayer, despite our exhaustion, can be a beautiful offering to God. However, if you consistently find yourself falling asleep during prayer, it might be worth examining your daily routine. Are you getting enough rest? Are you trying to pray at times when you're naturally more tired? Adjusting your prayer schedule or finding ways to be more alert during prayer, like standing or walking while praying, can help combat this natural fatigue. The second reason Padre Pio identified for falling asleep during prayer is more sinister: spiritual attacks. This might sound alarming, but it's important to understand that as we grow in our faith and deepen our prayer life, we may face increased spiritual opposition. Padre Pio was no stranger to spiritual warfare. He often spoke of his battles with evil spirits and understood the Rosary as a powerful weapon in these encounters. He said, "The Rosary is the weapon for these times." In his view, each Hail Mary is like a blow against the forces of darkness. So why would falling asleep be a form of spiritual attack? Think about it this way. If the rosary is such a powerful prayer, wouldn't the enemy do everything possible to prevent us from praying it effectively? Making us drowsy, distracted, or discouraged during prayer could be tactics to weaken our spiritual defenses. Padre Pio advised that when we experience sudden, unexplainable drowsiness during prayer, especially when we're not particularly tired, it might be a sign of spiritual opposition. In these moments, he encouraged persistence. Don't give up. Instead, try changing your prayer posture, praying out loud, or asking your guardian angel for protection and assistance. Remember, though, that not every instance of falling asleep during prayer is a spiritual attack. Discernment is key, and we'll discuss how to distinguish between these causes later in our talk. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Padre Pio proposed a third reason for falling asleep during prayer, one that might surprise you: divine protection. Yes, you heard that right. Sometimes God, in his infinite wisdom and love, might allow us to fall asleep during prayer as a form of protection. But protection from what, you might ask? Padre Pio believed that there are times when our souls are particularly vulnerable during deep prayer. In these moments, we might be susceptible to spiritual experiences or insights that we're not yet ready to handle. Out of love and concern for our spiritual well-being, God might allow us to drift into sleep as a way of shielding us. This concept might be hard to grasp at first, but think of it this way. Just as a loving parent might carry a sleeping child past a scary scene to protect them, God might sometimes allow us to sleep through certain spiritual experiences for our own good. Padre Pio himself experienced this phenomenon. He once said, "Don't worry if you fall asleep sometimes while praying. It's a sign that you have completely abandoned yourself in God's arms, trusting Him entirely." This perspective offers a beautiful consolation to those who struggle with staying awake during prayer. What we perceive as a failure might actually be a sign of God's loving protection and care. So, the next time you find yourself drifting off during the rosary, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this simple tiredness? Could it be a spiritual attack trying to distract me from prayer? Or might it be God's way of protecting me and inviting me to rest in His presence? Understanding these three potential causes can transform our approach to prayer. Instead of feeling guilty or frustrated, we can approach these moments with curiosity and openness to God's work in our lives. As we continue our exploration of this topic, we'll delve deeper into how to discern between these different causes and what practical steps we can take to enrich our prayer life, even when sleep threatens to overtake us. Remember, as Padre Pio often said, pray, hope, and don't worry. Even in our moments of drowsiness, God is at work, and the rosary continues to be a powerful tool in our spiritual journey. Before we continue with this revelation, I want to invite you to become part of this spiritual family. If these messages of protection and wisdom are touching your heart, you can support this space by becoming a member of the channel. Also, if this message is helping your life, don't forget to leave your thank you in the comments below the video. Now, let's continue with these important revelations. Now that we've explored the three potential reasons for falling asleep during prayer, natural fatigue, spiritual attacks, and divine protection, let's dive deeper into how we can discern between these causes. Padre Pio, with his profound spiritual insight, offers us valuable guidance in this area. First and foremost, Padre Pio emphasized the importance of spiritual discernment in all aspects of our faith journey. He often said, in spiritual matters, we must be very careful in our judgments. This wisdom is particularly relevant when we're trying to understand our experiences during prayer. Let's break down each cause and explore the signs that might help us identify what's really happening when we find ourselves drifting off during the rosary. Natural fatigue is often the most straightforward to identify. Here are some signs that your drowsiness might simply be due to physical tiredness. You're consistently falling asleep at the same time of day, regardless of when you're praying. You've had a particularly busy or stressful day. You're trying to pray when you'd normally be sleeping or resting. You feel physically tired or drained before you even begin to pray. The drowsiness comes on gradually rather than suddenly. Padre Pio understood the reality of physical limitations. He once comforted a fellow priest who fell asleep during prayer, saying, "Don't worry, my son. Even the apostles fell asleep in the Garden of Gethsemane." If you recognize these signs of natural fatigue, be gentle with yourself. Consider adjusting your prayer schedule or finding ways to be more alert during prayer. Identifying spiritual attacks requires a bit more discernment. Padre Pio, who frequently experienced spiritual warfare, provided some insights on recognizing these attacks. The drowsiness comes on suddenly and intensely, especially when you're not particularly tired. You feel an unexplainable heaviness or oppression during prayer. You experience a strong urge to give up on prayer altogether. Negative thoughts or feelings of unworthiness flood your mind as you try to pray. The drowsiness disappears as soon as you stop praying. Padre Pio often spoke about the reality of spiritual attacks. He said, "The devil is like a rabid dog tied to a chain. Beyond the length of the chain, he cannot seize anyone. And you keep at a distance. If you approach too near, you let yourself be caught." If you suspect you're experiencing a spiritual attack during prayer, Padre Pio advised to persist in prayer even if it's difficult. He believed that these moments of struggle could be particularly fruitful spiritually. This is perhaps the most subtle and requires the most discernment. Padre Pio suggested that divine protection through sleep might be occurring when you feel a deep sense of peace as you drift off during prayer. Upon waking, you feel refreshed and closer to God, despite not having finished your prayer. You find that insights or answers to problems come to you after these episodes of sleeping during prayer. The experience leaves you feeling loved and cared for by God, rather than guilty or frustrated. Padre Pio himself experienced this form of divine protection. He once said, "Sometimes, when I wake up from prayer, I feel as though I've received a great grace, even though I don't remember a thing." If you're experiencing something similar, it might be a sign that God is working in your life in a particularly gentle and loving way. Now, it's important to note that these categories aren't always clear-cut. Sometimes, we might experience a combination of factors. For example, we might be naturally tired, which makes us more susceptible to spiritual attacks. Or God might use our natural fatigue as a way to protect us spiritually. So, how can we navigate this complex spiritual landscape? Padre Pio offers us some practical advice. Pay attention to patterns. Keep a prayer journal. Note when you feel drowsy, what time of day it is, and how you feel before and after prayer. This can help you identify patterns over time. Examine your prayer environment. Are you praying in a comfortable chair that might be conducive to sleep? Or are you in a position that helps you stay alert? Check your physical state. Are you getting enough sleep in general? Are you eating well and exercising? Our physical health can significantly impact our prayer life. Be honest with God. Talk to Him about your experiences. Ask for guidance and discernment. Padre Pio often said, "Prayer is the best weapon we have. It is the key to God's heart." Seek spiritual guidance. If you're consistently struggling with this issue, consider talking to a spiritual director or a trusted priest. They can offer personalized guidance based on your specific situation. Trust in God's love. Remember, whether it's natural fatigue, a spiritual attack, or divine protection, God is with you in your prayer. As Padre Pio often said, pray, hope, and don't worry. Padre Pio's teachings remind us that our spiritual journey is not always straightforward. There will be times of clarity and times of confusion, but in all of these moments, God is present, working in ways we might not always understand. As we continue to explore this topic, remember that the goal of prayer is not perfection, but relationship. Whether you're wide awake or drifting off to sleep, your desire to connect with God is itself a beautiful prayer. In the next section, we'll look at some practical strategies Padre Pio recommended for deepening our prayer life, even when we face the challenge of drowsiness. Stay with us as we continue to uncover the wisdom of this great saint. Now that we've explored the reasons behind falling asleep during prayer and how to discern between them, let's focus on practical strategies to overcome drowsiness. Padre Pio, drawing from his vast experience in prayer, offers us valuable insights on how to maintain focus and alertness during our spiritual conversations with God. Padre Pio often advised changing one's physical position when feeling drowsy during prayer. He said, "The body must be comfortable, but not so comfortable that it invites sleep." Here are some suggestions. Stand up and walk while praying. Kneel instead of sitting. If kneeling becomes uncomfortable, alternate between kneeling and standing. Use a prayer desk or a firm chair instead of a soft, comfortable seat. Remember, the goal is to find a position that keeps you alert without causing undue discomfort. Padre Pio frequently prayed aloud, especially when battling drowsiness or spiritual attacks. He believed that vocalizing our prayers can help maintain focus and ward off distractions. Try reciting your rosary out loud, even if it's just a whisper. The act of speaking can engage more of your senses and help keep you awake. While Padre Pio himself didn't need visual aids due to his intense spiritual experiences, he recognized their value for many faithful. Consider using religious artwork or icons to focus on while praying, a prayer book to follow along with written reflections on the mysteries of the Rosary. These visual elements can help anchor your thoughts and prevent your mind from wandering. Padre Pio was known for his rigorous prayer schedule. While we may not be able to match his hours of prayer, we can learn from his discipline. Try to set a consistent time for prayer each day when you're typically most alert. This could be early in the morning, during a lunch break, or in the evening after dinner. Before beginning your prayer, take a few moments to prepare yourself. Padre Pio often spoke about the importance of recollection, gathering one's thoughts and focusing on God's presence. You might take a few deep breaths, light a candle, say a short preparatory prayer. This transition can help signal to your body and mind that it's time for focused prayer. If you find long prayer sessions challenging, consider breaking them into shorter segments throughout the day. Padre Pio said, if you can't meditate on the 15 mysteries of the Rosary, say at least 5, or even 1. If you can't say one mystery, at least call on Mary constantly. Padre Pio was acutely aware of the spiritual realm, but he also understood the importance of engaging our physical senses in prayer. You might try holding and touching the rosary beads mindfully, using scented candles or incense if you're not sensitive to fragrances, listening to soft, spiritual music in the background. Sometimes, simple physical factors can contribute to drowsiness. Ensure you're well hydrated and that your prayer space is well ventilated. Padre Pio often prayed by an open window, allowing fresh air to help keep him alert. When all else fails and you still find yourself struggling with drowsiness, Padre Pio would encourage us to offer it up. This means accepting our limitations humbly and offering our struggle to God as a prayer in itself. He once said, "The Lord sometimes allows us to be unable to pray in order to make us humble and to increase our trust in Him." Padre Pio had a special relationship with his guardian angel and often encouraged others to seek angelic assistance. When you feel drowsy, try asking your guardian angel to help you stay alert and focused in prayer. Padre Pio frequently used holy water, especially when facing spiritual battles. Keep a small bottle of holy water near your prayer space and bless yourself with it before beginning your prayers. This sacramental can serve as a powerful reminder of your baptismal promises and help focus your mind on prayer. Incorporating scripture into your prayer time can help engage your mind and heart. Padre Pio often meditated on Bible passages during his prayers. Try reading a short scripture verse before each decade of the Rosary, allowing the Word of God to illuminate your meditation on the mysteries. Begin your prayer time by thanking God for specific blessings in your life. Padre Pio often emphasized the importance of gratitude in our spiritual lives. Starting with thankfulness can awaken your heart to God's presence and help combat drowsiness. Remember, the goal of these strategies isn't to achieve perfect, drowsiness-free prayer. Rather, it's to deepen our relationship with God and to persevere in prayer despite our human limitations. As Padre Pio often reminded us, in all the events of life, you must recognize the divine will, adore and bless it, especially in the things which are the hardest for you. Implementing these strategies may take time and patience. Don't be discouraged if you don't see immediate results. Like any relationship, our prayer life grows and deepens with consistent effort and God's grace. As we conclude this section, reflect on which of these strategies resonate with you. In the coming week, try implementing one or two of them in your prayer life. Remember, the most important thing is your sincere desire to connect with God. Even in our moments of weakness and drowsiness, God sees our hearts and cherishes our efforts to draw near to Him. As we've explored the challenges and mysteries surrounding prayer, particularly the Rosary, it's crucial to remember why we engage in this spiritual practice in the first place. The Rosary isn't just a series of repetitive prayers. It's a powerful tool for personal transformation and spiritual growth. Padre Pio, throughout his life, witnessed and experienced the profound impact of this devotion. Let's delve into some of the ways the Rosary can transform our lives, illustrated by historical events and personal testimonies that Padre Pio often shared with his spiritual children. Padre Pio often referred to the Rosary as a weapon against evil and distress. He said, "The Rosary is the weapon for these times." But beyond its defensive capabilities, the Rosary is also a profound source of inner peace. During World War II, when bombs were falling near his friary, Padre Pio remained calm, clutching his Rosary. He encouraged others to find solace in this prayer, saying, "Love the Madonna and pray the Rosary, for her Rosary is the weapon against the evils of the world today." Many who have adopted a daily Rosary practice report a significant increase in their sense of peace and well-being. One of Padre Pio's spiritual daughters once shared, "When I began praying the Rosary daily, as Padre Pio suggested, I noticed a change in my heart. The anxieties that once consumed me began to fade, replaced by a deep, abiding peace." Padre Pio believed in the Rosary's power to bring about profound spiritual conversions. He often told the story of a man who came to him for confession after years away from the church. When Padre Pio asked what brought him back, the man replied, "I promised my dying mother I would pray one Rosary a week. I kept that promise, and here I am." This story illustrates how even a small commitment to the Rosary can plant seeds of faith that grow over time. The repetitive nature of the prayer allows for deep reflection on the mysteries of Christ's life, often leading to profound insights and spiritual awakenings. One of the most famous stories associated with the power of the Rosary is the Battle of Lepanto in 1571. The Christian fleet, vastly outnumbered by the Ottoman forces, achieved a decisive victory after Pope Pius V called for all of Europe to pray the Rosary. This event led to the establishment of the Feast of Our Lady of the Rosary. Padre Pio often referenced this historical event to illustrate the Rosary's protective power. He encouraged people to use the Rosary as a shield against spiritual and physical dangers. During the bombing raids of World War II, many people in Padre Pio's town attributed their safety to their faithful recitation of the Rosary. Padre Pio, known for his gift of healing, often prescribed the Rosary as part of the healing process. He believed that while physical healing was important, spiritual healing was paramount, and the Rosary was a powerful tool for both. One memorable account involves a woman who came to Padre Pio with a serious illness. Along with advising her to seek medical treatment, he told her to pray the Rosary daily. Months later, she returned, not only physically healed, but also experiencing a profound spiritual renewal. Padre Pio simply smiled and said, "The Madonna is a good mother. She always listens to her children." Padre Pio was a strong advocate for praying the Rosary as a family. He believed that the family that prays together stays together, often attributing the breakdown of families to a lack of prayer life. He would share stories of families transformed by committing to pray the rosary together daily. One such story involved a family on the brink of divorce. After committing to a daily family rosary for a month, as Padre Pio had advised, they found their relationships healing and their home filled with newfound peace and love. While the rosary might seem repetitive, Padre Pio saw it as a path to deeper spiritual understanding. He often said, "In the rosary, we not only say prayers, we think them." Many of Padre Pio's spiritual children reported receiving profound insights during their rosary prayers. One man shared how, while meditating on the sorrowful mysteries, he suddenly understood the depth of God's love in a way he never had before. This understanding transformed his relationship with God and his approach to life's challenges. Padre Pio had a deep devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary and saw the rosary as a direct link to her intercession. He often told people, "When you want to offer something to Our Lady, offer her the rosary." Many who have followed Padre Pio's advice have reported feeling a closer connection to Mary and, through her, to Jesus. One woman shared how she felt Mary's presence more tangibly in her life after she began praying the rosary daily, often feeling guided and comforted in times of difficulty. As we reflect on these transformative aspects of the rosary, it's clear why Padre Pio placed such emphasis on this prayer. The rosary isn't just a religious ritual. It's a dynamic, life-changing practice that has the power to bring peace, protection, healing, unity, and deeper spiritual understanding. Whether you're new to the rosary or have been praying it for years, Padre Pio's insights invite us to approach this prayer with renewed enthusiasm and expectation. Each bead, each prayer is an opportunity for grace to enter our lives and work its transformative power. As we conclude this section, I encourage you to reflect on your own experience with the rosary. Have you witnessed its transformative power in your life? If you haven't established a regular rosary practice, perhaps Padre Pio's words and these stories will inspire you to give it a try. Remember, as Padre Pio often said, the rosary is the prayer of those who triumph over everything and everyone. It was Our Lady who taught us this prayer, just as it was Jesus who taught us the Our Father. As we come to the end of our journey exploring Padre Pio's wisdom on the rosary and the phenomenon of falling asleep during prayer, it's time to reflect on how we can apply these teachings in our daily lives. Padre Pio wasn't just a mystic with extraordinary experiences. He was a practical spiritual guide who wanted to see real transformation in the lives of the faithful. Let's recap the main points we've covered. The rosary is a powerful spiritual weapon and a tool for transformation. Falling asleep during prayer can have multiple causes: natural fatigue, spiritual attacks, or even divine protection. Discernment is key in understanding our prayer experiences. There are practical strategies we can employ to enhance our prayer life. The rosary has the power to bring peace, conversion, protection, healing, family unity, and deeper spiritual understanding. Now, what do we do with this knowledge? Padre Pio would often say, "Pray, hope, and don't worry." But he also believed in taking concrete steps to deepen our faith. So, I want to invite you to take on a challenge, one that could potentially transform your spiritual life. The Padre Pio Rosary Challenge. For the next week, commit to praying the rosary every day. It doesn't matter if you can only manage one decade or if you can pray all 4 mysteries. The important thing is consistency and intention. Here's how to approach this challenge. Set a specific time each day for your rosary prayer. Maybe it's first thing in the morning, during your lunch break, or before bed. Choose a time that works best for you. Create a dedicated prayer space. It could be a corner of your room with a religious image or simply a quiet spot where you won't be disturbed. Keep a prayer journal. After each rosary session, jot down any thoughts, feelings, or insights you experienced. Pay attention to any changes in your mood, your relationships, or your outlook on life. If you find yourself getting drowsy, don't be discouraged. Remember the lessons we've learned and try implementing some of the strategies we discussed. At the end of the week, reflect on your experience. How has this daily practice affected you? Have you noticed any changes in your life, no matter how small? Padre Pio believed that such a commitment could lead to profound changes. He once said, "Some people are so foolish that they think they can go through life without the help of the Blessed Mother. Love the Madonna and pray the Rosary, for her rosary is the weapon against the evils of the world today." But this challenge isn't just about personal transformation. Padre Pio saw the Rosary as a powerful force for change in the world. He lived through 2 world wars and saw how prayer could impact global events. Today, our world faces different but equally challenging problems. By committing to this Rosary challenge, you're not just praying for yourself, but for the whole world. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Thousands of others watching this video might be taking on this challenge with you. Imagine the power of all these rosaries being prayed around the world. As we conclude, I want to leave you with one final thought from Padre Pio. He said, "The Rosary is the weapon for these times." In a world that often seems chaotic and uncertain, the Rosary offers us an anchor, a connection to the divine that can bring peace, clarity, and purpose to our lives. Whether you're struggling with falling asleep during prayer, facing spiritual battles, or simply looking to deepen your faith, the Rosary is a gift that's available to all of us. It doesn't require special skills or knowledge, just an open heart and a willingness to spend time with Our Lady and her Son. So, will you accept the Padre Pio Rosary Challenge? Will you commit to spending this time in prayer each day for the next week? If you're ready to take on this challenge, write "I accept" in the comments below. Your commitment might inspire others to join in, creating a ripple effect of prayer and positive change. And remember, even if you struggle, even if you fall asleep, even if you miss a day, don't give up. As Padre Pio would say, pray, hope, and don't worry. Each prayer, each bead, each moment spent in this devotion is precious in God's eyes. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Padre Pio's teachings. May your journey with the Rosary be filled with grace, insight, and transformation. And may the peace of Christ, which surpasses all understanding, guard your hearts and minds. God bless you, and remember, in the words of Padre Pio, the Rosary is the prayer of those who triumph over everything and everyone. Let's triumph together through the power of this beautiful prayer. Have you ever stopped to think about why some people seem to naturally attract abundance, while others constantly struggle with financial difficulties? The answer may lie in 3 simple numbers that Padre Pio revealed. And today, I will share with you this knowledge that can completely transform your financial life. If you are watching this video now, it's not by chance. You have been chosen to receive a special message that Padre Pio left about prosperity and abundance. Before revealing these 3 powerful numbers, I want you to write in the comments, "Padre Pio, I am ready to receive abundance." This simple action is already the first step toward your financial transformation. Are you struggling with money, worrying about bills to pay, or simply wishing to increase your prosperity? This is the moment you've been waiting for. Padre Pio, in his infinite wisdom, shared a simple and practical method that anyone can apply immediately. It involves just 3 numbers that, when used at the right time and in the right way, have the power to transform your financial reality in just a matter of days. Let me share something surprising with you. People who applied this method in the morning started noticing changes in their lives on the very same day. We're not talking about empty promises or waiting months for results. This is a practical and immediate method that starts working as soon as you put it into action. The numbers I'm about to reveal are no ordinary numbers. They form a sacred code that, when activated correctly, has the power to open the pathways to prosperity. It's as if these numbers were special keys that unlock the doors of abundance in your life. Now, you need to understand something crucial. This method is unlike anything you've ever seen. It's not complicated, it doesn't require complex rituals, and most importantly, you can start applying it immediately after this video. All you need is a pen, your faith, and these 3 powerful numbers. Grab a pen and paper now, because every detail I'm about to share is essential for this method to work in its entirety. I will teach you not only the numbers, but also the exact moment to use them and how to maximize their effects to get results starting today. And if you're wondering whether this really works, I want you to know that it's not just the numbers themselves that hold power, but how you use them that makes all the difference. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal not only the numbers, but the entire method that can start transforming your financial life today. The time has come to unveil the extraordinary power of these 3 numbers, 7, 8, and 3. This specific combination wasn't chosen randomly. Each of these numbers carries a unique and powerful energy that, when combined in the right way, creates a field of prosperity around you. The number 7 is known as the number of perfection and completeness. It represents the exact moment when blessings manifest in our lives. When you write the number 7, you're activating the energy of perfect abundance, the kind that arrives at the right time and in the right way. It's as if you're opening a portal for prosperity to naturally flow toward you. The number 8, on the other hand, symbolizes infinite prosperity. Notice how the number 8, when turned sideways, forms the symbol of infinity. By writing the number 8, you're connecting to a continuous and infinite flow of abundance. It's like creating a permanent cycle of prosperity in your life, where each blessing naturally attracts even greater blessings. The number 3 represents complete manifestation. This is the number that brings everything you desire into the material world. When you write the number 3, you're activating the power of materialization, transforming your intentions into tangible reality. It's as if this number serves as the bridge between your desires and their physical realization in the world. But the true power doesn't lie in the individual numbers alone, it's in how they combine. When you unite 7, 8, and 3, you create a special frequency that naturally and effortlessly attracts prosperity. It's like a sacred code that, when properly activated, unlocks the doors to a new level of abundance in your life. Padre Pio taught that these numbers, when written on the palm of your hand, create a field of protection and prosperity around you. It's as if you're carrying a master key that opens all the doors to abundance. Each time you look at these numbers, you reaffirm your commitment to prosperity and strengthen your connection to blessings. Now, imagine your life transformed by the power of these 3 numbers. Imagine waking up every morning knowing you're protected and supported by this energy of prosperity. Picture opportunities multiplying, doors opening, and abundance flowing naturally toward you. The beauty of this method lies in its simplicity. You don't need complex rituals or elaborate practices. All you need are these 3 numbers and your sincere faith. It's like having a powerful tool always within reach, literally in the palm of your hand. And the most remarkable thing is that these numbers work in harmony with your faith. The more you believe in their power, the stronger your connection to prosperity becomes. It's a virtuous cycle where each small manifestation further strengthens your confidence in the method. Many people ask me why these specific numbers. The answer lies in the ancient wisdom that Padre Pio shared with us. He understood that we would need simple yet powerful tools to navigate the financial challenges of our time. These numbers are exactly that, a practical and effective tool to attract prosperity. Now that you understand the profound meaning of these numbers, I'll teach you exactly how to use them to attract prosperity into your life. The method is simple, but every detail is crucial for the results to manifest correctly. How to use the numbers 7, 8, and 3. Choose a blue pen. The first thing you need to do is select a blue pen. The color blue carries a special vibration that aligns perfectly with the energy of these numbers. Create a calm moment upon waking before starting your day. Find a quiet moment for yourself. This is the ideal time to begin the method. Write the numbers on your right palm with the blue pen in hand. Write the numbers 7, 8, and 3 on the palm of your right hand. It's important to use the right hand as it is directly connected to the energy of receiving. Write the numbers in a straight line, side by side, starting with 7, followed by 8, and ending with 3. Focus on prosperity. While writing, as you write each number, focus your thoughts on prosperity and abundance. Visualize your life transforming, opportunities multiplying, and prosperity flowing effortlessly toward you. It's as if each stroke is engraving a new pattern of abundance into your reality. Connect with the energy of the numbers. After writing the numbers, place your right hand over your heart for a few moments. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. This moment of connection is essential for the energy of the numbers to fully align with your being. It's like sealing a commitment to prosperity. Repetition and reinforcement consistency is key to this method. You need to rewrite these numbers 3 times a day. Morning, when you wake up, midday, around noon, evening, before going to bed. Each time you rewrite the numbers, you are strengthening your connection to the energy of prosperity and keeping this field of abundance active around you. Affirmation throughout the day. Between each writing, whenever you see the numbers on your hand, silently repeat, "I prosper more each day." This simple affirmation, combined with the numbers, creates a powerful frequency that attracts even more abundance into your life. It's like continuously fueling the energy of prosperity. Gratitude, the magnet for blessings. Another important aspect of this process is maintaining an attitude of gratitude throughout. With every opportunity that arises, with every small blessing you receive, take a moment to say thank you. Gratitude is like a magnet that draws even more blessings into your life. The more grateful you are, the more reasons the universe will give you to feel gratitude. By combining faith, gratitude, and this simple yet powerful method, you'll unlock the flow of abundance and transform your financial reality. During the day, strive to keep your thoughts aligned with prosperity and abundance. Avoid complaints or negative thoughts about money. Remember, your thoughts are like seeds planted in the field of reality. The more positive your thoughts about prosperity, the more abundant your harvest will be. This method can be enhanced by creating a small personal ritual around it. For instance, you might light a white candle while writing the numbers, or listen to calming music that inspires you. What matters is that this moment feels special and meaningful to you. Don't worry if the numbers begin to fade throughout the day. This is normal and expected. The key is to stay committed to rewriting them at the 3 designated times of the day. Each time you rewrite the numbers, you are renewing your commitment to prosperity and further strengthening this field of abundance. Also, remember to keep this method a secret during the first 7 days of practice. It's like a seed that needs time to germinate. The more protected it is in the beginning, the stronger its growth will be. After this initial period, you can share it with others who are also seeking prosperity in their lives. In addition to the sacred numbers method, there are fundamental principles you must understand and practice to allow prosperity to fully and lastingly manifest in your life. These principles act as pillars that support and amplify the power of the numbers you've learned. Constant gratitude. Gratitude is the foundation of prosperity. When you are thankful for what you already have, even if it seems small, you send a clear message that you are ready to receive more. Start by giving thanks for the simplest things: the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food on your table. This daily gratitude practice creates a magnetic field that attracts even more blessings into your life. Persistence. Persistence is essential on this journey. Results may start appearing quickly, but it is your consistency in practice that ensures deep and lasting transformations. Think of it like building a house. Each day of practice is like laying a brick, strengthening the foundation of your prosperity. Positive speech. Pay attention to how you talk about money and prosperity. Your words have power and shape your reality. Avoid phrases like, "I don't have money," or "it's hard." Replace them with positive affirmations such as, "Money flows easily into my life," or "I am prosperous in all that I do." This shift in language profoundly alters your relationship with abundance. Organized environment prosperity flows more easily in clean and organized spaces. Take a few minutes each day to tidy your home, especially your wallet and the places where you store money. This external organization reflects and attracts financial order and prosperity into your life. By integrating these principles with the sacred numbers method, you create a strong foundation for lasting abundance. Stay committed, maintain gratitude, and allow prosperity to flow naturally into your life. Generosity is also a powerful principle of prosperity. When you share what you have, even if it's just a little, you demonstrate trust in life's abundance. It doesn't have to be money. You can share your time, knowledge, or even a sincere smile. The universe always returns generosity in multiplied ways. Stay attentive to the opportunities that arise in your life. Prosperity often manifests through ideas, seemingly casual encounters, or sudden intuitions. When you're practicing the sacred numbers method, these opportunities tend to multiply. Be open and receptive to them. Cultivate patience on your journey. While some people notice immediate changes, others may take a little more time. Everyone has their own harvesting season. The key is to maintain faith and consistency in your practice, knowing that transformations are happening, even if they are not yet visible to your eyes. The energy of forgiveness is another fundamental principle. Forgive yourself for past financial decisions and release any guilt or resentment related to money. Also, forgive others who may have negatively influenced your financial life. Forgiveness clears your energy field and creates space for new and better experiences. Always remember that prosperity is not limited to money. It includes health, harmonious relationships, professional fulfillment, and inner peace. By practicing these principles alongside the sacred numbers method, you're creating a solid foundation for holistic prosperity in every area of your life. Finally, keep alive the certainty that you deserve prosperity. Many people block their blessings because they don't feel deserving. You are a beloved child of the universe and deserve to live a prosperous and abundant life. This certainty, when truly felt in your heart, removes invisible blocks and clears the way for a constant flow of prosperity into your life. Now that you're familiar with the method and principles, let's talk about the transformations that will begin to unfold in your life. These changes often start subtly and intensify as your practice grows stronger. It's important to stay aware of all the signs of prosperity that will begin to manifest. In the first few days, you may notice a shift in your mindset about money. Thoughts of scarcity will naturally give way to an abundance mindset. You'll start to recognize opportunities that previously went unnoticed, as if your eyes are opening to a new world of possibilities. The transformations often follow an interesting pattern. First, you'll notice small changes in your daily life. It could be an unexpected discount, a forgotten refund, or even finding money on the street. These are signs confirming that your energy is aligning with the frequency of prosperity. As you continue practicing, these small shifts will grow into larger and more impactful changes, creating a life that reflects your new alignment with abundance. Next, you'll notice changes in your relationship with work. New ideas will naturally arise, your creativity will increase, and solutions to problems will come more easily. It's as if a wellspring of inspiration opens, bringing clarity and direction to your professional actions. Your relationships will also begin to reflect this new energy of prosperity. People who can positively contribute to your financial life will naturally be drawn to you. Conversations about business opportunities and partnerships will start to emerge spontaneously. A very common sign is an increase in your intuition regarding financial matters. You'll develop a sixth sense for recognizing good opportunities and avoiding unfavorable situations. It's as if an inner compass is activated, guiding your financial decisions with greater accuracy. Practical changes will also start to manifest in your bank account. Initially, these may be small increases, a new client, an additional sale, or an unexpected bonus. Over time, with consistency in your practice, these increases tend to become more significant and frequent. You'll also notice a shift in your relationship with spending and saving. You'll naturally develop greater financial wisdom. Decisions about how to use your money will become clearer and more confident. It will feel as though you've developed a new financial intelligence, knowing exactly when to save and when to invest. Another important sign is the emergence of new income streams. Opportunities to diversify your earnings will start to appear. These could be extra jobs, new projects, or even your own business. Prosperity has many paths to reach you. Your physical health and energy levels will also improve. This happens because when we free ourselves from financial worries, our bodies respond positively. You'll have more energy, more focus, and greater capacity to take advantage of the opportunities that arise. The transformations don't stop there. You'll experience a newfound sense of security and stability in your life. The fear of lack will be replaced by the certainty of abundance. This inner peace is one of the most significant signs that the method is working fully in your life. Remember, each person has their own journey to prosperity. While some experience dramatic changes quickly, others go through more gradual and subtle transformations. What's important is to maintain consistent practice and unwavering faith, knowing that every small change is a step toward ever-increasing prosperity. We've reached the moment to recap everything we've learned about this powerful method that can transform your financial life. The numbers 7, 8, and 3 are more than simple numbers. They are keys that open the doors to prosperity when used correctly and with sincere faith. You've learned that you need to write these numbers on your right hand 3 times a day using a blue pen. Once in the morning when you wake up, once at midday, and once before going to bed. Each time you write them is an opportunity to reinforce your commitment to prosperity and strengthen your connection to abundance. Always remember that the power of this method lies in the perfect combination of action and faith. It's not enough to write the numbers mechanically. You must keep your thoughts elevated and your heart open to receive the blessings that will start flowing in your direction. The practice of gratitude that we've discussed is essential in this process. Give thanks for every small manifestation of prosperity in your life. Whether it's an unexpected discount, an extra work opportunity, or a gift, everything is a sign that your energy is aligning with the frequency of abundance. Stay committed to the principles I've shared with you. Keeping your environment organized, practicing generosity, being mindful of your words and thoughts, each of these aspects contributes to creating an energetic field favorable to prosperity in your life. Don't keep this knowledge stored away. Start applying it today. Grab your blue pen and write the numbers 7, 8, and 3 on your right hand. Feel the energy of these numbers connecting with your being, opening pathways of prosperity in your life. Remember, for the first 7 days, keep your practice a secret. It's like a precious seed that needs to be protected during its initial growth. After this initial period, you can share this knowledge with people who are also seeking prosperity in their lives. Keep your eyes and heart open to the transformations that will begin to unfold. Changes may start subtly, a more positive mindset about money, an innovative idea, or a chance encounter. Each small sign is confirmation that you are on the right path. If doubts arise at any point, return to this video. Revisit the method, recall the principles, and reconnect with this energy of prosperity. Your commitment to the practice is the key to achieving lasting results. If you haven't yet left your comment with the phrase 783 I believe, do it now. This simple act is already a declaration of your openness to receive the blessings that are waiting for you. And don't forget to share this video with special people who also deserve to prosper. To conclude, I want you to know that prosperity is your natural right. You were born to live in abundance, to achieve your dreams, and to have more than enough to help yourself and others. This sacred numbers method is a powerful tool to help you manifest this truth in your life. Now it's up to you. The seed of prosperity has been planted. With your daily practice, your faith, and your commitment, this seed will grow and transform into a thriving tree of abundance in your life. Start right now. Your new life of prosperity is waiting for you. Today is not just any day. It's the day when the world learned that Pope Francis has left this earthly realm, the day when the chair of Peter stands empty, and a soul who carried the weight of millions now stands before the eternal throne. This is not merely news, not just a headline to scroll past. This is a sacred moment when heaven itself holds its breath, when angels pause, when the balance of spiritual power shifts across the universe. That body, once dressed in white robes of authority, those hands that blessed multitudes, that voice that guided the faithful, now silent on earth, but speaking before the court of heaven. Yet how many live through this moment with indifference? How many wake up, eat breakfast, check their phones, go about their day, as if something monumental hasn't just occurred in the spiritual realm? Padre Pio couldn't bear such spiritual blindness. When he witnessed mystical visions of papal judgment, his entire being trembled. His face reflected the awesome weight of divine scrutiny. He didn't simply talk about spiritual realities. He experienced them in his body, in his soul, in the silence of profound revelation. And because of this, he left us 3 grave warnings. 3 critical truths about what happens when a pope dies, that if ignored today, can completely diminish your understanding of the spiritual world. Truths that open the eyes of the soul. Truths that draw you closer to understanding heaven's perspective. Truths that, without you realizing, can awaken the grace God wants to pour over you today. But there is still time. Time to understand, to witness, to respond. Stay with me until the end, because the 3rd revelation is the most profound and the most astonishing. And once you discover it, you will never view the papacy or your own spiritual journey the same way again. If you too feel a voice in your heart whispering, "I've been blind to these spiritual realities, I've taken them for granted," write in the comments, "Rest in peace, Pope Francis." Open your heart now, because what you are about to hear could transform your faith and prepare your own soul for its final encounter with divine justice. When a pope dies, the veil between worlds grows thin. Angels gather, saints intercede, demons accuse, and the just judge opens the book of life. Padre Pio saw this, and he wept for days afterward. Let us begin this sacred journey into the invisible realm, where the successor of Peter now faces the piercing gaze of the one who holds the keys to eternal life and death. Few people truly understand the spiritual magnitude of a pope's role in the divine order. In God's kingdom, the pope isn't merely a religious leader or a figurehead. According to Padre Pio's revelations, a pope occupies a unique position in the spiritual hierarchy that spans both heaven and earth. He stands as the visible representative of Christ himself, a bridge between the material and the supernatural worlds. When a pope is alive, Padre Pio described seeing a special angelic guard surrounding him at all times. Not just one guardian angel as most of us have, but a celestial court assigned specifically to protect the vicar of Christ. These angels don't just protect his physical body. They shield his soul from the constant spiritual warfare directed against the leader of Christ's church on earth. The burden of a pope, Padre Pio once told a visiting cardinal, is unlike any other human responsibility. Each decision ripples through eternity. He described seeing golden threads connecting the Pope to every baptized soul in the world, millions of spiritual connections that pulsate with every papal pronouncement, every teaching, every action taken or not taken. This is why, at the moment of a Pope's death, there occurs what Padre Pio called the Great Accounting. As Pope Francis took his final breath, these spiritual connections didn't simply disappear. Instead, they became the very pathways through which his soul's impact was measured in the courts of heaven. In that sacred moment when death came for our Holy Father, Padre Pio revealed that time itself functions differently. What seems like seconds to us might be experienced as an eternity in the spiritual realm. The Pope's soul enters a state of profound clarity where every memory, every decision, every soul affected by his papacy comes before him in perfect detail. Nothing is hidden, nothing is forgotten. The bells that toll on earth announcing a pope's death are echoed by a celestial symphony, a sound that reverberates throughout purgatory, causing all souls there to pause and pray for the one who was their shepherd. The saints in heaven gather in solemn assembly. The angels stand at attention. Even the demons must acknowledge this moment of divine judgment. One of Padre Pio's most startling revelations concerned what he called the opening of the papal book. He described seeing a massive, luminous book that appears at the moment of a pope's death. Its pages contain not what the world saw of his papacy, but what heaven saw. The true intentions behind every action, the prayers offered in secret, the silent tears shed for the church, the hidden struggles against temptation. When I witnessed this, Padre Pio confided to his spiritual director, I trembled for days afterward. The weight of papal responsibility is so great that I would not wish it upon anyone. Yet it is a sacred burden, carried for the sake of soul. According to mystical tradition, reinforced by Padre Pio's visions, the moment of a pope's death triggers specific spiritual events that affect the entire church. Masses offered around the world at that exact moment receive special graces. Prayers of the faithful carry heightened power. The veil between heaven and earth grows thin, allowing for extraordinary spiritual clarity for those attuned to such mysteries. The Pope's soul, now freed from his body, experiences what Padre Pio described as the three encounters. First comes the encounter with Christ himself, face to face with the one whose church he led. This is not an encounter of strangers, but the meeting of a servant with his master. Every pope, from Peter to Francis, faces this moment of truth. Second comes the encounter with all the previous popes who have gone before him, that unbroken chain stretching back to the Apostle Peter himself. They stand as witnesses, as brothers who understand the unique burden he carried. And third comes the encounter with every soul significantly impacted by his papacy, both those he helped lead to salvation and those who may have strayed because of his decisions or omissions. This, Padre Pio said, is often the most difficult encounter of all, as Pope Francis now experiences these profound spiritual realities. A momentous shift occurs in the spiritual balance of our world. The protection and guidance that flowed through him must now take new channels until a new pope is chosen. In this sacred interval, heaven watches closely as the Church on earth prepares to select a new vicar of Christ. The moment of judgment for a pope is unlike any other soul's reckoning. Padre Pio described it as a scene of breathtaking solemnity and divine majesty. When Pope Francis stood before Christ, it wasn't merely as a man named Jorge Mario Bergoglio, but as the 266th successor to Peter, the rock upon which Christ built his church. In this celestial courtroom, the full weight of papal responsibility comes into sharp focus. Christ himself sits as judge, not with anger or vengeance, but with perfect justice, tempered by mercy. The apostles, especially Peter, the first pope, stand as witnesses. Mary, Mother of the Church, is present in her role as advocate and intercessor. The judgment of a pope, Padre Pio once revealed during deep ecstasy, involves a review of every soul entrusted to his care. This doesn't mean only Catholics who faithfully followed his teachings, but every person on earth during his pontificate. For the Pope isn't just shepherd to the faithful. He bears responsibility as Christ's representative to all humanity. Imagine the profound moment when Pope Francis faced the divine ledger of his papacy. Each major decision scrutinized not by worldly standards of popularity or political expediency, but by their spiritual fruit. His efforts to reform the Vatican, his emphasis on mercy, his environmental encyclical, his handling of the abuse crisis, his approach to traditional practices, all examined under the penetrating light of divine wisdom. According to Padre Pio's revelations, a pope is judged with particular attention to three sacred duties: to teach the faith without error, to safeguard the sacraments, and to shepherd souls toward salvation. The standards are exacting because the stakes are eternal. Souls have been saved or lost based on papal guidance throughout history. During this judgment, angels present the records of Francis's pontificate, not newspaper headlines or social media reactions, but the true spiritual impact of his leadership. Every homily, every apostolic letter, every private prayer for the Church is weighed. Did he defend the deposit of faith? Did he feed Christ's sheep with sound doctrine? Did he seek the lost with the heart of the Good Shepherd? Particularly moving in this judgment, according to mystics in the tradition of Padre Pio, is the moment when the Pope faces those souls most directly affected by his decisions, those who found their way to God through his words, those who may have been scandalized by perceived failures, the seminarians inspired to priesthood by his example, the fallen-away Catholics who returned, or those who drifted further from the Church during his watch. The tears of a pope at judgment, Padre Pio once told a priest confidant, could fill an ocean, for he sees with perfect clarity both the good he accomplished and where he fell short of Christ's expectations. This isn't about condemnation, but about truth, the full truth of a papacy revealed in the light of eternity. What many fail to understand is that a pope's judgment includes examination of hidden spiritual battles unknown to the world. Francis, like all popes before him, faced supernatural opposition targeted specifically at undermining his mission. Demonic forces worked tirelessly to attack the head in order to scatter the flock. In the divine courtroom, these unseen struggles are finally acknowledged. One of the most misunderstood aspects of papal judgment concerns the Pope's personal holiness versus his official actions. Padre Pio explained that a pope might be personally holy, yet make decisions that led souls astray, or conversely, he might have personal struggles yet fulfill his papal obligations faithfully. Both dimensions are judged, the man and the office he held. The critical moments of Francis's pontificate come under particular scrutiny. The synod on the family, his approach to divorced and remarried Catholics, his outreach to other faiths, his handling of doctrinal questions. Yet alongside these public acts, heaven also examines his hidden sacrifices, midnight prayers, and personal penances offered for the Church he loved. In this celestial tribunal, there is no propaganda, no spin, no public relations strategy, only truth. The Pope, who spent his life surrounded by advisors, secretaries, and crowds, now stands alone before his Lord. The papal garments that distinguished him on earth mean nothing now. Only the substance of his stewardship matters. Yet amidst this sobering accountability, Padre Pio reminds us of an astonishing mercy. Christ judges with perfect justice, but also with understanding of human frailty. The Pope, who bore such immense responsibility, receives particular compassion for having carried a burden few can comprehend. The good he accomplished isn't overshadowed by his mistakes. Each is weighed in proper measure. Perhaps most profound is what Padre Pio called the question. The same question Christ asked Peter 3 times by the Sea of Galilee, now asked of his successor at judgment. Do you love me? In the end, beyond all policies and pronouncements, this remains the essential criterion by which a pope is judged. Did he love Christ? Did that love inform his leadership? Did it inspire his every decision as shepherd of the Church? As Pope Francis answers this question in eternity, the fate of his immortal soul hangs in the balance. What happens after the divine judgment of a pope? According to Padre Pio's mystical insights, there are three possible destinations for a pope's soul, just as there are for every human being. Yet the journey takes on extraordinary significance, given the Pope's unique role in salvation history. Heaven may immediately welcome a pontiff whose life and leadership reflected Christ's will with exceptional fidelity. This immediate glorification is rare, but possible. Padre Pio spoke of seeing certain popes receive directly into the beatific vision, their souls radiating with a distinctive glory that marked their papal service. They take their place in a special council of former pontiffs who continue to intercede for the Church from heaven. More commonly, Padre Pio revealed, a pope's soul requires purification in purgatory. The mystic described seeing a special realm within purgatory reserved for religious leaders, a place where the fire of divine love burns away any remaining attachment to human praise, any pride in ecclesiastical accomplishments, any failure in shepherding the flock. The purgatory of popes, Padre Pio explained to a visiting bishop, is particularly intense because their purification must be commensurate with the graces they received. A pope experiences purification not just for personal failings, but for how his leadership affected countless souls. Each soul led astray through papal negligence or misguided teaching creates a debt that must be satisfied before entering heaven's glory. Most strikingly, Padre Pio spoke of the prayers offered for a deceased pope having extraordinary spiritual power. When the faithful pray for their departed Holy Father, these prayers create what Padre Pio described as rivers of mercy that flow directly to the Pope's soul, hastening his purification. The masses offered worldwide after a pope's death become powerful spiritual aid in his final journey. Could a pope face eternal separation from God? Padre Pio acknowledged this devastating possibility exists for anyone who fundamentally rejects God's will, even a successor of Peter. The mystic described this potential tragedy as something that would create cosmic spiritual trauma throughout the Church. While never claiming to know the eternal fate of any specific pope, Padre Pio urged prayers for all pontiffs, recognizing the tremendous weight of their responsibility. What many fail to understand is that a pope's influence continues even after death. Padre Pio described seeing how a pontiff's teachings, decisions, and example continue generating spiritual consequences long after he has departed earth. This ongoing impact affects his eternal status. Both the good and harmful fruits of his papacy continue to accrue to his account. Perhaps most mysterious is what Padre Pio called the papal intercession. He claimed that even from purgatory, a pope maintains a special connection to the Church on earth. While undergoing purification, a departed pontiff can offer potent prayers for his successor and for the challenges facing the Church he once led. This creates a spiritual continuity between successors of Peter that transcends death itself. For Pope Francis, this journey into eternity now unfolds beyond our earthly vision. The ceremonies, eulogies, and tributes occurring on earth are merely shadows of the profound spiritual realities taking place in the realm of souls. His papal ring has been destroyed according to tradition, symbolizing the end of his authority on earth, yet his spiritual responsibility for his papacy continues in eternity. Most comforting among Padre Pio's revelations is his insistence that the Blessed Mother takes special interest in the souls of departed popes. As Mother of the Church, Mary extends particular care to those who served as Christ's vicars. Her powerful intercession accompanies them through judgment and purification. What does this mean for us? Padre Pio urged the faithful to understand that our prayers for a deceased pope are not merely ceremonial, they are spiritually efficacious. Each rosary, each mass, each act of charity offered for the repose of Pope Francis' soul provides real assistance in his journey toward the beatific vision. And in the divine economy of grace, these prayers simultaneously strengthen the Church on earth during its time of transition. As the sacred conclave prepares to select a new pope, The spiritual destiny of Francis unfolds in the courts of eternity. What can we learn from the divine judgment of a pope that applies to our own spiritual journey? Padre Pio was clear. While a pontiff's judgment carries unique elements, the underlying principles apply to every soul. The same God who judges popes will one day judge each of us. First, we must understand that responsibility correlates with accountability. Jesus himself taught, "To whom much is given, much will be required." A pope bears immense spiritual responsibility and faces corresponding scrutiny. But each of us, parent, teacher, business leader, influencer, will likewise be judged according to our sphere of influence. The parent who guides children, the teacher who shapes young minds, the manager who affects employees' lives, all bear responsibility for how they've influenced others. Padre Pio often reminded penitents, "You may not wear the papal tiara, but you too are responsible for souls." Every conversation where you could have shared faith but remained silent, every opportunity to defend truth you avoided, every soul your example either inspired or led astray, all will be part of your judgment. This isn't meant to terrify, but to awaken us to the profound significance of our daily choices. Second, Padre Pio emphasized the importance of recognizing our specific vocation. A pope is judged according to how faithfully he fulfilled his papal duties, not how well he might have served as a parish priest or missionary. Similarly, you will be judged based on how faithfully you lived your particular calling. The married person isn't expected to live like a monk, nor is the business person judged by standards meant for clergy. What matters is faithfulness to your specific path. Before judging others, Padre Pio would counsel, remember that you too will stand before the just judge. How often we scrutinize church leaders, dissecting their every word and decision. Yet each critic will one day face their own comprehensive judgment. This should inspire humility and prayer rather than harsh criticism. By all means, we must uphold truth and protect the faith, but always with the sobering awareness that we ourselves will be judged by the same measure we use for others. Perhaps most importantly, Padre Pio reminds us that divine judgment, while exacting, is also infused with mercy. The Pope who stands before Christ faces perfect justice, tempered by perfect understanding. So too will you and I. Christ knows our struggles, our weaknesses, the precise circumstances of our failures. He takes into account not just our actions, but our intentions, not just our public persona, but our inner heart. A pope prepares for his judgment through daily prayer, regular confession, and constant vigilance over his responsibilities. We would be wise to do the same. Padre Pio advised daily examination of conscience, frequent confession, and regular reflection on our ultimate accountability to God. Live each day, he counseled, as if you might meet God before sunset. As we witness the solemnity surrounding a papal death and contemplate the spiritual realities Padre Pio described, let this be more than interesting spiritual speculation. Let it be a mirror in which we examine our own lives. The same divine light that now illuminates Pope Francis's papacy will one day shine upon every aspect of your life and mine. Are you prepared for that moment? Are you living in a way that will withstand divine scrutiny? Or are there areas of your life that need transformation before you face your own judgment day? As we conclude our exploration of what happens in heaven when a pope dies, let us remember that these profound spiritual realities affect not just the papal soul, but the entire body of Christ. Padre Pio revealed these mysteries not to satisfy curiosity, but to deepen our understanding of the spiritual world that exists beyond our physical sight. Pope Francis now faces the divine tribunal where no earthly accomplishments, diplomatic achievements, or public acclaim carry weight, only faithfulness to Christ's mission. And one day, you and I will stand before that same tribunal, our souls laid bare before perfect justice and perfect mercy. Let this solemn moment in the Church's life prompt sincere prayer, not just for Pope Francis's soul as he completes his journey, but for the cardinals who now bear the weighty responsibility of selecting his successor. The spiritual battle intensifies during this sacred transition, as heaven and hell both recognize the immense stakes involved in choosing the next vicar of Christ. May we learn from Padre Pio's mystical insights to live with an awareness of our final judgment. May we recognize that every action, every decision, every word we speak creates ripples in eternity. And may we approach each day with the humility of knowing that we too will one day stand before Christ, giving account for every soul we've influenced. If these revelations have touched your heart today, please write in the comments, "Eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord." Your prayer joins millions of others ascending to heaven for our departed Holy Father. And please share this video with someone who needs this spiritual perspective during this historic moment for our church. Remember, the death of a pope is not the end. It's a profound transition in the spiritual realm. And as we witness this sacred passage, may it prepare us for our own eventual journey from time into eternity.